Hello, hello, hello. This is Nathan Bomber Brown. We got Wild Ute and Jackson Johnson on the Big Freakin' Friday show on the College Football Mafia Network. I'd like to welcome everybody here. We're not sure if Moen's going to make it or not. He's doing some guest stars on other shows tonight, but we certainly wish him luck and hope he has a good night as well. Thank you all for being here tonight. It's a Friday evening. We're not sure what we'll get for Friday evening normally. So we hope that you guys have a lot of energy and you want to get involved because we're going to be talking about the college football playoff and who really should be competing and what numbers should they be. So we're going to talk about that tonight. First of all, let's introduce Wild Ute. How we doing, Ute?
Doing great. Happy Friday, y'all. Happy Friday. Big freaking Friday tonight's show. Can't wait to get into this. You guys, is this playoff fair? This format that we're going to be talking about. We're talking about the 4-4-3-3. We're talking about the Dellinger article from 2 days ago. We're going to get into it. We're going to actually break that sucker down. We're going to hash it out.
Love it. Love it. And Jackson, first of all, welcome to the show. We appreciate you being here, and you bring such great energy and knowledge of everything going on. We appreciate you spending some time with us tonight.
Well, thank you for having me on. And to let everybody know how many days it is until kickoff, we got 99 days until week 0, 104 days till week 1, 105 days till Auburn, Baylor, Colorado, Georgia Tech, 106 days until week 1 Saturday, 107 days until Virginia Tech, South Carolina, Notre Dame, Miami, and 108 days until the start of the Bill Belichick era against the TCU Horned Frogs on ESPN.
That is so cool. Way to go, Jackson. That is awesome. Thank you so much for previewing that. So less than 100 days for the first game of the 2025-26 season, but it's all in preparation for what? The college football playoff. Who really deserves to be in and who doesn't? We're going to talk about that at length tonight. So we invite you guys to get involved. Leave us your comments or questions. I'm having a little bit tough time talking tonight. Just one of the things that happens to me. So I'm going to lean on Ute and Jackson a little more than I do. But that's what we're going to be doing tonight. Why don't you tell everybody about our channel, Ute?
Yeah, so Big Freaking Friday show every Friday. We talk about just realignment updates from this week and everything. And then it's usually kind of a crazy show and stuff. Drink. Cheers to everybody.
Cheers.
That one. Absolutely. So we're going to hammer again like the playoff concept today. We're going to go over also the new payout updates and stuff that came out for 2024 for the Big 12, the ACC, and the Pac-12. We're going to look at some projected payouts too for the next coming years and see how big a difference we're talking about too in the future. So we're going to get going tonight. But yeah, College Football Mafia, this is a place to be Friday night.
Make sure you follow all of us. Make sure you subscribe, like the video, leave us a comment or question. We talked to Moen, who's the back-end guru. He says those likes really help us, guys. The likes and follows and subscribers, when those numbers go up, the whole party gets bigger. So I want to invite everybody to do that with us. I also want to invite Jackson, tell everybody where you currently have a show right now.
Well, I currently have a show on my personal channel at Jackson Johnson 979. I just had my 70th episode of the Jacksonian, and it was with none other than Nathan Brown, Nathan Bomber Brown from CFB Mafia right here. But also, you can also check me out on Alabama with the Voice College Football, where we're 16 subs away from that magic number 2,600, where I host Crimson Tide Live with Coach Burt. Oh, thank you. Where I host Crimson Tide Live with Coach Burtz on Mondays, 6 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and with Jeffrey at Only Talk Sports. Plus, we take your calls on the Crimson Tide, 9 p.m. Central Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. And for more on what I've got going on the Jacksonian and Alabama Boys College Football, check me out on JacksonBOCFB on /Twitter, Jackson Johnson 543908 on Instagram and Threads, and Jackson Johnson Blue Sky Social at Blue Sky. And of course, you can also check out my once a week calls.
Awesome.
Oh, thank you. You can also check out my once a week calls on the Paul Feinbaum Show, where the weekends are really full of surprises.
People pay.
You're calling Feinbaum on the weekly, Jackson?
I do.
That is
I called this
awesome.
week, gave him some guest suggestions because I'm telling you, he needs some more YouTubers on there.
Well, I know this. We're going to have Jackson around here a little bit more as we continue to grow our channel. We invite everybody to get involved. Leave us those comments and questions, and make sure you subscribe and like this video. Follow us on Twitter. Okay, let's just jump right in. I got 2 super chats. Why don't you read both these?
Absolutely. Look at this stormy cyclone with a $5 super chat. Give him a sounder, Bomber.
I don't have a sounder.
Give him that. Give him one of the pop-ups.
I don't. Oh, yeah, I'll give him a pop-up right now.
Give him a
Keep
pop-up. That picture. There we go.
There you go.
That picture describes it perfectly, right there. So guys, check it out. So Brutus is taking a punch actually from Rufus, I believe. Rufus is the Ohio mascot there. But hey, you know what? Sometimes even Ohio State takes some punches. That's what we're talking about today. Are the Big Ten going to get 4 automatic qualifiers? Jackson, is the SEC going to get 4 automatic qualifiers versus maybe 5, maybe who knows, 6? They want 10. You know, they want all as many as they can get. But will the Big 12 and the ACC get 3 or the 2? That's the really biggest question of all.
That's going to be the question. I feel like it's going to be the Big 12 getting more bids than the ACC. But honestly, I'm not too crazy about this automatic bid qualifier stuff. It's not my cup of tea. I really think it should be the best teams there. I really don't care if you're from the MAC or the Mount West, Big 12, Big 10, or the SEC. I don't care what you did in 1958 when Gunsmoke was the #1 television show on CBS.
Oh my God.
It's like, no. It's like, I don't care what you did in 1958. I want to know what you did today, last week, last month. I want to know what you did the whole year. I want to see what your wins have turned into. I want to see what your win from August 31st has turned into.
So let me ask you an open question, since we're just going to dive right into this. Let's not screw around. We're talking college football playoff. Leave your comments and questions. This is the question I have for both of you. If you don't do auto qualifiers and you do 1 to 16, and whoever are the best ones that are in the 1 to 16, how do we change or modify the poll process? Because RPI is definitely against the Big 12, for instance. So how do you clean up and get the best? Is it BCS type calculations? How do we get to the top 16? What do you think, you?
I think that it should be a BCS computer-based formula. They consider those metrics still in the playoff room when discussing playoff teams. But I think you need a committee and you need a machine. So you need both of those to get both of the thoughts, and then you need to blend the results together to get the final rankings. Because it can't just be like the humans. There's biases. We all have biases and everything, right?
Right.
The computers and stuff, there are issues with that too, especially like if you're running up scores and opponents and everything.
Right.
It takes things out of control a little bit too. It's not perfect. Neither one's perfect, but blending them together will get us to a better solution about actually selecting the at-large teams, the college football playoff.
Jackson, what do you think about that one?
I feel like the committee should be full of people that are really watching college football and not trying to get through the term limit, so to speak. It really should be people that are watching college football day and night, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I really don't think a specific network should be having the final say on who gets in. Yeah.
Oh boy. Yeah. ESPN is definitely the godfather today. And I think, look, I like the BCS because there were metrics you met those metrics, you succeeded, right? But the problem is those metrics were based on some calculations in a back room somewhere, and they were never really revealed to the rest of the country. So I don't care what the metric is, as long as everybody knows what it is and everybody's held accountable in the same way. If we do it this way, we have to really know, though, that the ACC and the Big 12, just perception, is going to lose points in a 1 to 16.
Yeah, and if the Big 12 really wants to help themselves, they got to make sure they're winning playoff games.
Right.
I think it would have helped tremendously for Arizona State had they not doinked against Texas, had they not blown it against the Longhorns. They should have won that one.
Absolutely. You got to win games to get more respect. I mean, the Big 12 is always going to be disrespected going into any season. It's going to be hard to crack the top 10 for any of the teams in the Big 12 in this new world. We said this last year too, and just to piggyback off your point, Jackson, you've got to win games in the playoff. You've got to win, even if it's a game. Just win a freaking game. Yep. Don't lose. The ACC had a really poor showing last year in the playoffs, guys.
Yes.
I mean, seriously, it's so you can't have that. You can't have multiple teams losing every first round playoff game or every first game in the playoffs. So you got to win games. You got to get respect that way. Arizona State was close. Look, they gave you a little bit of respect, but not a lot. They would have won the game and won another game, man, that would have been huge for the Big 12. But you got to win in the playoff. Nothing else matters, not even in like the early season, not even non-conference late playoff games, and that is freaking it.
Man, it makes me sad that everybody's wanting to get rid of the big non-con games. It feels like we're heading towards like a preseason for college football.
Maybe.
Like we got the crappy games for the first 3 weeks. Like, that's not cool. Not cool.
Well, you disincentivize teams to go out and play difficult strength of schedule when they're not given a bonus for doing it. The Big 12 got screwed last year. BYU was a top 10 team if they had gone strength of schedule.
It's like the committee.
They didn't do that.
It's
they
like
go by eye test and some of this other garbage that they use just to make up the gaps that the teams that don't show up.
It's like the committee didn't even watch BYU SMU. Like, seriously, I watched BYU SMU while watching the Packers Eagles. It's not that hard, committee.
You wouldn't think it would be.
That game seemed to get wiped off the face of the earth.
It did. It disappeared.
That was weird a little bit, right?
There were several journalists that tried to keep bringing it up. John Wilner, I know, did it. I know Amanda Kristovich did it. But it's like nobody, it fell off the face of the earth. All right. Anyway, let's get to this. Ryan Willie, Super Chat. Both Stormy Cyclone and Ryan Willie, valuable members of the College Football Mafia family. Here's a $10 Super Chat. Week of October 12th to 18th, state of Wisconsin 2, state of Ohio 0. Week of November 23rd to 29th, Wisconsin 2, Minnesota 0. Okay, Wisconsin might go 1-1 versus Ohio, but definitely 2-0 versus Minnesota. Book it. What do you think, you?
I think that Wisconsin's likelihood of beating Minnesota is much greater than Ohio, especially Ohio State here, like Ryan indicates. So I would agree with that assessment. Look, Wisconsin, it's going to be a mixed bag this year. Like there's a lot of thoughts that it's going to be a rough season. I love Wisconsin though, and I like whenever you have a home game atmosphere like a Camp Randall, man, like you're in any game and stuff. They're going to have talent to win games. I hope they do it. I could see them beating Minnesota. Ohio State, a win versus Ohio State would be absolutely massive, though. So
especially this year with that team that's going to be on the field. Absolutely, no doubt. But what do you think there, Jackson?
I really would like to see Wisconsin have a better year. I really hope that Wisconsin's not throwing the baby out with the bathwater on Luke Fickell. Because I think it would be an extremely dumb move to give up on Fickell after his third year. I mean, it's not all his fault, but I mean, if we're talking about his 6th year and he's having losing seasons, then yes. Right. But the thing is, like, people forget about Paul Chris when they were saying, oh, well, he wasn't so bad after all. Well, here's the thing, though. The winning streak against Minnesota ended in 2018 while I was at the Iron Bowl with my uncle. Like, that was the thing, though. And
it's been a minute.
Oh yeah,
it's been a minute.
Oh yeah, like Wisconsin has not been getting it done against Minnesota like they used to from 2004 to 2017 in the days of no YouTube.
All right, let's move on to some more shout outs. But one last time, I want to give Stormy Cyclone and Ryan Willie a special clap out. Thank you so much for this, guys. You know, those are very important for us, keeps the light on. And we really, really appreciate both of you. Let's do some other shout outs, shall we? The Big Lubbock is in the house third. Good to see you, Big Lubbock.
Hey.
Stephen Vitt says Rufus punching Brutus. Yeah,
Look,
I
the only
don't
way we
know.
got away with that is because Moan's not currently on this big freaking Friday.
I
He'll be
think that's
back on
right.
Sunday.
He'll
He would
bring
never allow it, guys. I'll be honest.
Hellfire with him, I think.
Yeah.
Lots of revenge. Daniel Gygax, contributor extraordinaire, one of the really good short videos that Daniel puts out. What are those videos called?
Yeah, keep the facts with Daniel Gygax.
Thank
Daniel
you.
Gygax. Just the
Yeah.
facts with Daniel Gygax.
From
Just
what
a
I've
fact.
seen of Daniel Gygax, he's basically a wizard of West Virginia.
Yeah, he
Well,
is.
talking to him, you definitely can get that out of him for sure. Very, very smart guy. We're glad to have him here. Nathan Campbell saying hi, guys. Good to see you, Nathan.
Mhm.
Day one, Rob. What's up, gentlemen? Happy Friday, San Diego State. He brought it up, so let's talk San Diego State. In your opinion, is San Diego State and the Pac-12 going to get an 8th team, or they going to have to do like a reverse merger with the Mountain West? What are they going to do?
The Pac-12, just get Texas State, guys. Seriously, like quit screwing around. Go get Texas State. Like I know that the Pac-12's been trying to offer 25% distributions, 30% distributions. Just go to 65, 70, 75. Just get the dang deal done. Like there's no reverse merger. That's going to kill you if you merge with the Mountain West. There's too many milk suckers in the Mountain West. You can't do it. You just straight up can't do it. Go get Texas State. Quit screwing around and get the deal done.
Agreed. What do you think, Jackson? Real quick.
Honestly, I agree with Wild Ute. They're going to have to merge with the Mountain West, honestly. It is going to feel weird seeing Northern Illinois, Washington State as a conference game. But then again, West Virginia, Oklahoma has been seen as a conference game. Penn State, Michigan State from 1993 was seen as a game on rivalry week. I mean, do we really know anybody that's seeing those, getting excited about those games? No. But unfortunately, this is what we're going to see. And
the Pac-12 has the quote-unquote best option football brands, right? And football drives the bus. UNLV was a huge, massive miss on their part. So there's not a lot of other schools that they can get to come over, at least not today. So I'm with you. I think they need to give them a full share, just go. Rip the Band-Aid off and just head down the road.
I mean, Northern Illinois, Texas State, Pac-12 after dark. Who'd have thought that 20 years ago?
I just have a hard time seeing them merge with the Mountain West just because, like, you're adding so many schools that just don't move the needle, and you have to pay them. So it dilutes the pot for everybody. But Texas State's a different story. They've been trying to nickel and dime Texas State. I get it. They're trying to increase payouts for Wazoo and Oregon State. But at one point, like at the point that we're at right now, you've got to get this thing done. Like, you got to figure it out. I know you wanted less than 50%. You're going to be above 50%. If it's got to be 100, like the pressure is cooking so much that you're moving up on your offer almost on the daily, and Texas State's just sitting there. And
well, they have nothing to lose.
Get the dang thing done. They've got nothing to lose, right?
They have nothing to lose. They can wait.
Do I think Texas State's worth a full share? No.
You said that.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't. But you're in a situation where it's getting more dire to get this TV media deal done. So you got to get it done somehow. And if you got to offer them a full freight, then it is what it is, guys. Like there's nobody else, like you said, Nate, unless you pluck UNLV.
Oh, we know NBC's not touching the Pac-12. I mean,
no, there's not enough. There's just not enough money, guys.
No, CBS and no CW maybe. I mean TNT,
WB. We'll see.
I mean, David Zaslav, the way he has just run Warner Brothers to the ground. I mean,
yeah, they renamed HBO again. Did you guys see that? It's back to HBO.
I didn't see that. What's the name now?
HBO Max.
I saw that.
It started at HBO, went to HBO Max, went to Max, came back to HBO Max.
I can't wait to see what the new rules segment will be on that, or if it's even going to be mentioned at all tonight on the Bill Maher show.
Skaven, yes, checking in. Good to see you, Skaven. Hello, gentlemen. Thank you so much for being here. Bob Swanger, another valuable member of the Mafia family. It's great to see you, Bob. Thanks for being here tonight. Hey, everyone. How's everyone doing? I think we're doing okay.
How you doing tonight, Bob?
MBM checking in. Go Pokes. OSU, Oregon. So let's throw three teams together, Oklahoma State, Utah, or Texas Tech. Which one has the best season?
Texas Tech is the most likely. I'm optimistic for the Utes. A lot of people are down on the Utes. I wouldn't go with Oklahoma
I don't
State
count the
quarterback
Utes out
situation.
ever. Yeah.
So I'm thinking, guys. I'm thinking Texas Tech's going to have the best record in the conference.
Okay.
Like seriously, I think Texas Tech's the odds-on favorite to win conference. I think Utah's going to be in the top 3-4 teams though. Like I think Dampier is going to go off the season. I love the fact that everyone's dogging them, disrespecting the Utes. That's when the Utes come out and play their best football. So it's shaping up. I like it. I like it a lot this year and stuff. I think the Utes are going to surprise folks. Oklahoma State quarterback is a serious concern. Is it going to be Flores? Who's going to be the quarterback there?
Sawyer? Is Sawyer still there? Who is their quarterback?
Yeah, MBM. There's like 3 quarterbacks that are currently fighting off at Oklahoma State to start. And like Zane Flores is the guy that was like up and coming and everything, but he's kind of been overtaken by another QB. But I just don't trust the QB situation. If the QB situation's good, Oklahoma State's going to be in the running and everything. If it's bad, then it could be a rough season.
Real quick, Jackson, you want to put on top of that at all?
Absolutely. I think Utah out of the 3 has the best chance to succeed. What I've seen from Texas Tech is they should do well, but they always get so overhyped.
There's challenges.
No offense to Texas Tech. Yeah, they're doing all right with the transfer portal classes, but I want to see if they can get a 10-win season because eventually people are thinking of them as a basketball school more than a football school. They're not where they were with Mike Leach. Joe McGuire, if he doesn't have a 9 or 10 win season this year, he's going to be on the hot seat for 2026.
Especially with all the money they're putting in with NIL and everything.
If they don't win 9 games, he should be fired.
Yeah, I agree with that.
With this talent on the roster at Texas Tech, that's unacceptable. Honestly, if you can't win 9 games.
Joe Z checking in. Good to see you, Joe. Georgia Tech up. Tip it back if you want. Tempest checking in, another valuable member of the Mafia family. All these guys that are members of Mafia family are really, really appreciate your loyalty. Thanks for sticking with us. Tempest says, go Noles. What do you think about that one? Go Noles, Jackson.
Well, how long have you been a Florida State fan, Seven Impus? I'm curious.
I love Florida State. Always been a Florida State fan.
He's a diehard. I think he's been a Florida State fan for a long, long time.
Yeah, he's older than me. So
I'll be having some fun with Florida State. Like nothing personal against Florida State.
Well, Alabama, you guys are going to rub natural anyway. Clint Moses, the other OSU in the house, that would be Oregon State University Beavers. A true expert on today. Jackson, roll Tide.
Roll Tide and go Beavers, Clint Moses.
Look at that. You're getting a shout out. Your first show with us. That is awesome.
I appreciate it.
We really appreciate Clint. He's a stud. Always helping us keep our feet on the ground when it comes to realignment. All right, the Sir Killer says 333-112.
Oh, Jackson, I don't know how you could even look at that and not get upset. Honestly, as like an SEC guy and everything, a 3-3-3-3. Look, you got to be reasonable about these kind of things, right? Like the SEC and the Big Ten have the brands, they've got the ratings, they've got the teams, they've got the recruiting, they've got everything. We know that. It's not an equal playing field. We know that too. There's no way I think that a 3-3-3, 3-1-1-2 would work. It would be fantastic for the Big 12 and the ACC, but that's really truly not equitable. It's really skewed toward the Big 12 and the ACC.
Yes.
I would love that and everything, but it's just not equitable. What is equitable? A 4-4-3-3 or 4-4-2-2, like we're talking about. Really, it's the 3-3-2-2 for Big 12 and ACC. I mean, Jackson brought it up earlier. If like there were no automatic bids, like the question is how many SEC teams would even get in the playoff? Like every freaking year could be like 6 SEC teams anyway, right? Like, so if I'm an SEC guy, I'm probably saying I don't want any automatic qualifiers. I want all at larges because I think that I can get half of the field in.
I don't really like the way ESPN is treating the Big 12 and the ACC and the TV contracts. Like, I wish the ACC had gotten somebody besides ESPN. I mean, yes, they got CW, but I really wish they got CBS along with ESPN. That'd be cool. Like seeing Florida State Miami on CBS. I mean, that'd be nice.
Sorry, I'm trying to pull up this article so that I can jump into it here in a second. Once we're through the shout outs, I've got an article here on Yahoo Sports, Ross Dellinger, that we're going to buzz through really quick. And they're talking about whether this format may become. I was shocked to even see anybody report 4-4-3-3.
Oh my!
That stunned me. I mean, that would be great for the Big 12. It would be great for the ACC. Is there any chance a 4-4-3-3 works? I can't see it. I can't see
Look,
it.
Is it fair? A 4-4-3-3 model, 4 SEC, 4 Big 10, 3 Big 12, 3 ACC automatic qualifiers. Is that fair? It is not fair, guys. It's not fair. That's the whole namesake of this live show. I want it to be fair. I want to argue for it. But if I were a Big 10 or SEC guy, I would lose my freaking mind on this conversation, because if you do any type of historical research, there's nothing that supports a 4-4-3-3 model. A 4-4-2-2 seems pretty reasonable based on all the historical data. However, since I am a Big 12 guy, I'm of course like the conversation, right? Because it moves the needle, it moves the narrative.
Yeah.
And like the fact that it's like even in people's brains right now when we're talking about it is a positive for the Big 12 rather than just being kicked away immediately. And it's a leverage point for the future. So I love the fact that we're talking about it. And, the Big 12 needs to win playoff games. If the Big 12 starts winning a bunch of playoff games, then the next negotiation cycle, then maybe a 4-4-3-3 could work and be reputable. But right now, 4-4-2-2 is really what's backed up by the stats.
Well, you get the last word on this particular one, Jackson.
Yeah, I mean, the Big 12 and the ACC are definitely going to have to win playoff games throughout this season and the next few years. I mean, yeah, you're doing all right in college basketball. Yeah, you got national champions in college basketball. But how well did that work out for the old biggies? Oh, they had the most teams in for March Madness in 2011. That didn't work out so well because ESPN was picking them clean, getting Syracuse Pitt to leave for the ACC. West Virginia was leaving for the Big 12 because they saw the writing on the wall. Then we see Rutgers joining the Big 10. Louisville joining the ACC to replace Maryland. Cincinnati and UConn almost got poached, but luckily they didn't.
Well, and I think at the end of the day, all everybody wants is fair access, whatever fair is, and the best matchups possible. So some of that can be controlled, some can't. Like when historically good teams have horrible seasons, like Florida State, Utah, OSU, when that happens, it hurts that perception. So it's something that we just need more consistency at the top in every conference, frankly.
And I think you nailed it. I think having Oklahoma State, especially Utah, Oklahoma State, BYU, winning a lot of games and being at top of conference. Oklahoma State is arguably the biggest brand of the Big 12 by fan base size. I mean, Oklahoma State you need to lift that program. The Big 12 needs Oklahoma State to be a top 3 program, big time.
Well, and they've just underperformed. It's just been frustrating as a fan because that raises, if those teams are good and you have 4 teams that are all 9-3, but every one of them had fantastic seasons, that'll look better than just having one outlier and the rest of the conference people don't like at all. So anyway, let's not get down that road too far. Let's see. Let's do a few more shout outs and then we'll get to this article from Ross Dellinger, right? Let's see here. Tempest says, at Bomber, don't know if you got it. I've been an FSU fan since 92. I was born in 83. Sorry, Tempest. I actually thought you were older than me. So you're younger. That's cool. At least you were born in the 80s. That's all right. That's a generation we'll give you.
It's a millennial.
You see, I don't know where it turns off.
It's close.
I don't know. When's Generation X is me, and I don't know when that covers. Anyway, doesn't matter.
1965 through 1984, I believe. but I'll have to double check.
Listen to you, Jackson. That's crazy stats. All right, Wet Blanket. It's been a minute, but thank you so much for returning to be a member of the College Football Mafia family. We really appreciate it. Big 12 was playing for a natty not even 3 years ago.
Yep, no doubt about it.
It can
Yeah,
work.
I mean, like TCU got there, guys. They beat
Yeah.
Michigan in that game. I mean, it didn't help the fact that the doors got blown off of TCU versus Georgia in the title game. I mean, that did some serious damage, I think,
Yes, it
to
did.
reputation. But like outside of TCU's run, I mean, there hasn't really been a lot, to be honest. I think we just need to be honest about that as Big 12 fan supporters. Like, there's been conference championships and everything, but not a lot of big time games and like playoff berths and stuff and runs. So it has to happen.
Oh man, Sonny Dietz is on a hot seat if he doesn't get TCU competing for the Big 12 this year. I mean, yeah, you won your bowl game, but that's a far cry from going to the Natty against Georgia. Like,
yeah, all I know is at the end of the day, nobody's going to care what your logo is if you don't win games.
Nope.
Exactly.
That's the bottom line. Let's get to some more comments here. Let's see. Jackson corrects everybody. 1965 to 1980 is Generation X. Thank you very much. Appreciate that, Jackson. Hummus Hero, good to see you here representing the Buckeyes in the house. 1982-83 is the beginning of the millennial generation, named for those who came of age in the new millennium.
Let's go.
There
I'm a millennial.
Go. If you didn't know, yeah, I knew you were.
I'm a Gen Zer.
You're a Zer.
You guys, I am so old.
I made it by just that much.
All right, a couple more comments, and then we're going to get to this article. Mr. Monkey says, it's good to see you, man. Been a minute. Appreciate you being a returning member of the Mafia family when you do. There is no reason to codify two conferences getting double college football playoff entrance before season starts. So, and I don't know how you answer the question fairly, because I don't think fair is a good word. In fact, I don't like fair. But the teams that have been winning national championships have been in conferences that aren't barely watched. You know, the Big 12 has correct me if I'm wrong, the Big 12 has the fewest viewers, right? From top to bottom, isn't that right, Ute?
Actually, Big 12 surpassed the ACC last year because of Colorado.
Okay.
Without Prime, though, would have been the ACC over. Plus, Florida State had a tough year. Some explanations. Right. Usually, ACC slightly edges out Big 12 in its new iteration.
Okay. Well, and hopefully that improves as the Big 12 improves. Yeah. That's what we're hoping. Let's see here. And one more comment, and then we're going to get to this article. Clint Moses says, the CFP runs through Lubbock. Texas Tech fan in the house. All right.
I mean, that's going to be the narrative all offseason, Nate. You've already heard it. Like Texas Tech is going to be a strong favorite to win Big 12. They are the favorites.
I love it. Let them have it.
Yep,
it's not very. As far as I'm concerned, everybody can have that. Utah can have it back. It doesn't bother me in the least.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get to this article, just so I have. First of all, let me post the link for the article, because we always try to share other people's work, so you can go to it and read it yourself. But this is Ross Dellinger. The title of his article is Fight Over College Football Playoff Future, Getting Messy Amid the SEC and Big Ten Power Play. No one likes it. Isn't that the best compromise to start off it? Isn't the best compromise one that nobody likes?
Yes. Definitely.
Absolutely.
It's not a win. I guess it's not a true win-win, but like, hey, it's good enough. Nobody likes it, but hey, no one's getting screwed.
There you go.
All right, let's get to this. So let's break some of these things down. ACC spring meetings just happened, and I'm going to highlight it here. In fact, from the ACC spring meetings, conference executives discussed postseason format and their athletic directors and their coaches sharing them the latest negotiations between the Big 12, ACC, Big 10, and SEC. Why isn't the Pac-12 in there yet?
Yeah, because the Pac-12 doesn't even have a full conference right now. There's 2 members coming. There are 2 members currently. Next year there'll be 7. football playing members, and you need to add Texas State to get more consideration for this type of stuff. But still, Pac-12 is going to be a G6 conference once they add Texas State. They're not going to be an autonomous 4 conference or a Power 4 conference in the future.
And though most here declined to reveal specifics, they did share opinion on 16-team playoff proposal from the SEC and Big Ten that would award each of those 2 conferences 4 and the Big 12 and the ACC 2. So that's what they came to the table with. That's they knew this last year. We knew this last year. 4-4-2-2 is the one that they've been talking about for a very long time. And then the reason is those numbers is because they're equitable. As you just explained, if you go by viewership, if you go by all the success metrics, the SEC and the Big Ten are 1 and 2, right?
100%, right.
But to go back to this comment from, was it Wet Blanket, or who just said this comment about?
Yeah, it was Wet Blanket.
Was it Wet Blanket? So why codify that? Why, you guys, this is an open question for you guys. Why not just hold out if you're, say, the Big 12?
Why? What's the I guess what's the pressure from the SEC standpoint or the Big Ten standpoint to get this done? Why do you have to have 4 automatic qualifiers when you're likely to get 4 or more in any given year? Here's the reason. It's cost certainty, not for the SEC, but for the television provider, ESPN. They want the biggest brands, the most eyeballs for ad revenue because they paid a boatload for the SEC and for the playoff. And they want cost certainty so they can sell their advertising to corporate companies.
Okay.
And so it's that simple. It's easier to say, look, it's guaranteed an SEC team's going to be playing at least 4 times in the playoff with the cost certainty than having a variable that says, hey, we might be in a situation where there's 2 or 3 SEC teams that get in one year, although other years it could be 7. Yeah. They want cost certainty. They want to be 100% certain about it. They don't want risk, especially on the advertising side. If you're going to be pumping money into the college football playoff and advertising on that platform, all of this is about that, guys. All of it for the media partners to get ad revenue.
Yeah.
I hadn't even been considering cost certainty. That's why you're here. Is you use that mathematic and numeric insight into how all this is working. I'm thinking about what's the best for just appearance sake for each conference, right? And the conference that my school is in, I want them to have the most from a selfish standpoint. Right. So, and everybody is that way all around the country. Everybody, you have your school, Jackson has his school, and it's those polling, those from the polls, what wins out. So let's talk about what was it farmed out from the beginning. The divide among the 4 leagues doesn't exist in the number of teams. 16 teams, you think, by 2026?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And 16 teams is going to be freaking wonderful. I love it. 16.
What do you think, Jackson? Do you like 16? Do you like 8?
It's way better than 14. I mean, I'm not particularly too crazy about 14, 12, but I don't really like the idea of moving the playoff system every 2 years because that's what Mike Leach warned us about. Because number 3 is mad about number 2 getting in, number 9's mad about number 8. Right. Then you got number 65 getting mad about number 64 getting in. It's the kind of scenario that Mike Leach warned us about a couple decades ago.
That's absolutely true. He had a lot of insight. He left this earth way too early. We know that. Mike Leach was a character.
Agreed.
So let's scroll down here farther. Jim Phillips, everybody's a fan of Jim Phillips, the commissioner of the ACC. He says, I remain steadfast about fairness. There's a word I don't like.
Steadfast.
In the system and access. Let's see, on Wednesday, out of respect for my colleagues, I want to hold off on commenting about the AQs and specific models. But then I will scroll down here to the Big 12 and ACC. Sorry if my mouse will work. Big 12 and ACC officials are expected to propose alternate models to the Big 10 SEC, the 2 conferences that hold authority over a format starting in 2026. Power given to them by all 10 This is where you was talking about power given to them by all 10 FBS conferences last spring by the signing of a memorandum of understanding to extend the CFP television deal with ESPN through 2031. So the argument here is these conferences already cut their own throat. Now you're coming back and you're trying to get them to change it.
Is that true though? I mean, like back a year ago and stuff, all the pressure was a breakaway from the SEC
It
and the
was.
Big Ten.
They were trying to
So
stop
they
it.
weaponized this, right? And so it's like, hey,
Yeah.
you can now go and say, oh, look at history. You had to sign up on this. Like, what was the option, guys? There wasn't any options at that time. So let's just be real and honest about what was happening, right? It wasn't like everyone's just like, oh yeah, let's do this, and then like we know we're going to get screwed in the future, or we're oblivious. There's no choice to do it. Just be honest about it. Sometimes you shake your head at this stuff. It's like a year ago that happened. There was a talk of a pull away. So what are you going to do? Of course, you have to capitulate. But now we're not going to capitulate anymore for the Big Ten and the ACC. Now legislation is getting involved. There's this pressure. There's more pressure on this and stuff. So the Big Ten and the SEC don't bully their way into any more concessions.
Now, Jackson, you're representing the Power 2 tonight since Moen is gone. What are your? I know you're generally I hate the word fair. You're more centered when you look at how the CFP is done and how many schools should qualify and earn their way in. But as an Alabama guy, as somebody who has definitely an agenda, which do you think is better? Is it the 1-1-1-1-1? Is it 4-4-2-2? Is it 4-4-3-3? I mean, what do you think is most practical?
I mean, if I'm Alabama, I'm making sure I'm finishing in the top 4 every season so that the Crimson Tide can get in the playoffs. Like that's what I'm doing if I'm Alabama. But for the rest of college football, I think the ACC, in order to survive, they're going to have to do another obscure TV deal. They're going to have to make a deal with Netflix because, I mean, Netflix is like, okay, crap. Amazon Prime is beating us in the sports realm with NFL and NBA. So we got to make sure we've got our NFL Christmas Day games, but we're going to need college football. I mean, hell, that's how Fox realized they had to get some wins. They had to have some other than The Simpsons and Married with Children. NFL on Fox. NFL on Fox was the way to beat everybody. And the way they did it was to make sure they got Pat Summerall and John Madden calling their games. So I think the ACC is going to have to really figure out something. And they're going to get screwed, unfortunately. I hope I'm wrong, but that's what I think is coming.
You and I hope it happens. Not because we're against the ACC, but we want brands to come to the Big 12.
Well,
very open and honest about that.
Well, I mean, I kind of feel like the ACC, if they really want to save themselves, they have to get Notre Dame to join full time as member number 18.
That's fair.
What do you got to give Notre Dame to join the ACC full time? Like what kind of concessions do you have to give into Notre Dame?
Have them play Stanford every year as long as they want, and have them play Clemson as long as they want, and you get to keep Navy and see if you can keep USC every year.
Yeah. So really quick, let's do a reset on the Clemson thing because everybody knows now when they originally signed that deal, the ACC thought these are all conference games. Every year we're going to continue to count these as conference games, and they're not. They're one-off games for 12 years. So the ACC really doesn't get any benefit straight up having that game being played. Notre Dame not being in the league does not help or hurt them, but it doesn't help Clemson.
No.
For the ACC part, it helps Clemson, the university, absolutely. Yeah. They took the water with the baby and ran out the door, and nobody's catching them type thing. What do the rest of the schools and what's Florida State do? What's Miami do? What's Georgia Tech do? I just don't understand where that part of the ACC is going to land.
They're going to try to get in the P2 like they're doing. They're having the conversations, seeing if you can get the SEC or the Big Ten, if you can get the invites. All situations are being gamed out. Everything imaginable is being gamed out right now.
Clemson. Oh yeah, like what's gonna happen is I think NBC is gonna want to make sure they keep Notre Dame. I mean, for the longest time, Notre Dame was their only sports event for a
Right.
few years. Because when they lost the NFL on NBC to CBS in the late 90s,
They had golf. They had golf, and then they had the Triple Crown for the horse races. That was about it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, everybody in Kentucky's watching the horse races. Some people in Bama, they're like, when's football season coming on?
Right.
So like Notre Dame, like they were like the only event for NBC that everybody watched. Then NBC got Sunday Night Football, and they were able to get Al Michaels because ESPN decided, we want Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. We don't want to keep Al Michaels. Like, morons. Like, nobody cares about 1925 anymore. But
okay.
But they got Big Ten in 2023, and NBC, I think, is going to realize like the ratings are going to be gold for Notre Dame USC in the middle of October this year. What's going to happen is NBC is going to be talking in their ear, the Big Ten's ear, Notre Dame's ear about, hey, Notre Dame, want to join the Big Ten? We want to keep Notre Dame USC.
Yeah. All right, let's move right along. You can do that all night, Jackson.
A little bit more. Like, did you guys see that? At least on social media, there are rumors about USC not playing that game versus Notre Dame going forward. Like that.
That's what he's talking about.
Serious, there's serious chatter about that and everything.
It's not just chatter; is they've dropped it.
They dropped the series. That's done.
The Big Ten said they're not going to give a waiver for USC to play Notre Dame every year.
So in other words, USC and Notre Dame is no more right now.
I think
after like this next year.
I can't remember when it ends. Is it this year?
2026. 2026. This year's the last matchup in South Bend. 2026 will be the last year in Los Angeles.
Yep.
And that's why we see Notre Dame Clemson scheduling this 12-year series.
Right.
And when you're hearing Jen Cohen and Lincoln Riley saying in an ideal world, like if you're saying in an ideal world, that's code word for saying we're ending it.
Yeah.
Well, it's a loss to football.
I
love college football, and losing the USC Notre Dame game is a disaster, in my opinion.
USC can add their other rival, Utah, in the non-conference now.
There you go. All right, let's get to the rest of this article here. Continuing, several alternate models were discussed with the ACC directors this week. 4-4-3-3-1, 4-4-3-2-1. That's assuming there's only the 14 games. And it has to be the top 16, in my opinion. Now, are we going to get to 16 before 26?
Yeah, we're going to get to 16 before.
So 26. What's this year? How many teams?
We've got, I believe is it 12? Correct me if I'm wrong, Jackson. Is it 12 still this year?
Yes.
And are we going to 16 after?
Yeah. Yep.
We're talking about in 2026, though.
Right. Well, I said that. Yeah,
yep.
For 2026. So 16, we're just going to take for granted. That's probably pretty much going to be the number.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Some more down here. At a meeting of the 4 power conferences, commissioners in New York City, commissioners from the Big Ten and SEC solidified their preference for the 16-team 4-4-2-2-1. Of course they solidified their preference. Don't you love that? Yeah, that language is incredible to me.
Solidified the preference.
And then, Jackson, I'll ask you after this paragraph. Last spring, during negotiations to extend the CFP, ESPN Big Ten Commissioner Tony Petitti originally proposed a similar format, 3-3-2-2-1, that was roundly rejected stupidly. I don't know who rejected it, but that was dumb. A year later, after joint meetings between SEC and Big Ten, they're looking for the 4 automatic spots. So, Jackson, I'm going to tell you this right now. If they go to 4-4, let's even say 4-4-3-3-1-2 or whatever that number would break out to be, by the end of November, by the second week in November, you could know who those teams are.
Oh, yeah.
Does that take the excitement out of the ending of the year games, the rivalry games, if you already pretty much know where you're going to be because of these seedings?
Oh, yeah. It takes the excitement out of the rivalry games. Like unless you're in spots 7 through 12.
Right. That's right.
Because I mean, like Ole Miss Florida, for example, like when you're watching Ole Miss Florida the week before rivalry week, you're waiting to see if Ole Miss is going to continue winning their games. We know they're not going to the SEC title. So what are
Right.
they going to do? They got to win their next 2 games in order to get in the playoffs. What happens? They choke it away against the Florida Gators, not
Right.
once, but twice in the final minute of the 4th quarter.
Ute, what do you think about that? Compare and contrast. You have so many different ideas. Where does this thing end up?
I do think it ends up like in a 16-team format. I think that we are going to a 4-4-2-2-1-1-3-1 model. I think that's exactly where it ends up. I know that's not ideal for Big 12, but as said earlier and stuff, it's equitable. It makes sense. And just the fact that you have 2 guaranteed spots for Big 12 teams to get in the playoff in any given year opens up the opportunity for anybody to get in, right? Utah, BYU, Oklahoma State can get in. 2 spots, they're not just one.
Right.
It makes it much more fun. I think that's where this is going. But Yormark needs to get some concessions out of this. If he's going to capitulate on the 4-4-2-2 model, and Phillips, like what are you going to get in the future? What negotiation tactic are you going to get? What's the give and take? I don't know, but they need to negotiate that.
For 2026, Jackson, what can the Big 12 and the ACC hold as their power, their leverage?
Oof.
Yeah.
We're going to have to wait and see what happens by that time.
That's fair. Yeah, I'm not sure what their leverage is either. When I heard the 4-4-3-3 idea, I was like, man, somebody's got somebody's wife in a compromising position pictures, and they're basically, that's my leverage.
Oh,
because
yeah.
That number shocked me when I saw that.
Oh, yeah. Or they got one of the members blackmailed. So, I mean, there's that.
Yeah, I'm sure that's probably not happening. I'm just curious. I can't think of what the leverage would be.
Right here. So I just saw this comment pop up. Web link. It says, just dare the P2 to break off. That's your leverage point right there. You say, do it. Like, hey, if you're going to threaten so much and just break away, like, what are you going to do? They're probably not going to. And so you get more leverage on the ACC Big 12 side.
Yeah,
when you
fair.
Pull that card out. But that's basically saying all or nothing. Leave if you're going to leave. No more just dinging us around and stringing us around. Leave. So I think that is the leverage point. I think that's exactly what you do need to say too. Wet blanket your nails.
Yeah.
You want to add anything to that, Jackson? I think that was perfect.
It's all right with man. It's like if somebody's threatening, we're going to leave you. We're going to leave you. We're going to leave you. Just say, do it.
Yeah, I somebody needs to make them call a bluff. That's the only thing I could think of. And I'm not sure if you do, you could throw the whole thing up, right? And the Big 12 and ACC could get frozen out. But I don't think that happens because of the politics. I think we're finding out now politics weren't as cut and dried as we thought they might have been last year. Right. International politics is different. The economy's in a different place. You know, where Trump has taken us from a leadership perspective is completely different. So, yeah, I don't know. What that leverage point is, though, that's the very first thing I thought of when I saw that report pop up is, okay, who's got what over who to go to 4-4-3-3?
Yeah, like it's a breakaway.
It would be.
That would kill. I mean, if there really was a true breakaway by the SEC and the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's legal battles a lot into that, but that's a pretty dense topic just to think about, like all the complexities in that, how that could even happen.
Yeah.
Like the legal part of that. I don't see that happening. I don't think that happens, guys. I don't think there's really going to be a breakaway, like a true breakaway into making like a power super conference, if you want to call it that or whatever, just Big Ten and SEC.
Ugh.
I think there's a possibility for my Super League idea, though, where you just take football out and run football as its own thing, and then come up with a minimum number that you have to do to participate, minimum NIL contribution, minimum facilities, minimum, and you basically say this is what we're going to do. We're going to do it in 4 years. You have 4 years to get where you need to be, and if you're on the outside looking in, that's on you.
Yep.
I agree with you. I don't think the breakaway is just it's a political hot potato. Go ahead, Jackson. You were going to say something.
I agree with what Bob Swanger has to say. When you get politicians involved, it does not turn out well for anyone.
That's true.
Like
Ever.
it's
totally true.
I don't care what they got next to their names, like especially the ones that have been there like since before we were born.
Yeah. Well, okay, Greg Sankey. Let's go. All right, everybody. We made it an hour in. Believe it or not, I can't believe how the time has flown. Jackson's done all the carrying, so we appreciate him being
He's lifted down there
tonight. Really quick, let's do a reset. Thank you for being here on the Big Freaking Friday show on the College Football Mafia Network. I'm your host, Nathan Balmer Brown. We have Wild Ute right there sitting next to me, my original partner in this whole endeavor. And then Jackson has joined us. Jackson Johnson from Voice of College Football. You can see his Twitter handle right beneath us. His energy and, boy, the stuff he knows about college football is pretty amazing. And he's younger, so he helps us keep our water clear a little bit. Anyways, we appreciate him being here with us tonight since Moen couldn't show up. We're going to go about a half hour for comments and questions. We've got a bunch already in the starred column on the left side of my screen. If everybody wants to just continue to leave their comments, feel free. We do defer to member comments. And last but not least, we read all super chats. All right. So we're going to work backwards, Ute, so we can get as many people in here as we can. All right.
Let's do it.
All right, Mr. Monkey says, lawsuit coming. If the Big Ten and SEC separate, it will also get political.
Man, everything is political in college football. Like everything's lawsuit. Every single thing's a lawsuit. So, yeah, that's going to be a huge lawsuit. It's going to get ugly. Like I hate the legal side of this. It's just every freaking thing we talk about is lawsuit. Someone gets screwed. Someone's not happy. That's just the sport.
I would hate for somebody to be waking up early in the morning taking my money away. Like I would hate for that to happen.
It happens though. It happens, and you don't even get any insight or hands in it. It just you wake up one day and a breakaway has happened, or wake up one day and an entire conference ceases to exist overnight. We've seen all those things. There are nightmare scenarios. I just want to keep us somewhere in the middle of the road.
I'll say this, like the lawsuit incoming between like Big Ten and SEC, if that is happening, whoever wins is the one with the sleaziest lawyers.
Yeah, that's the war of the worlds. I don't think that happens. Here's one for you, Jackson. Devil Frog, the original Mafia commissar with me. I appreciate seeing you, Devil Frog. He's recently been blocked off Twitter for some reason. I'm not sure what he did. But anyway, a valuable member of the Mafia family. Utah fans make for the worst Big 12 advocates. What do you think about that, Jackson?
Cheers.
Oh, man. It's like you aren't like saying you're going to lead the Big 12, are you, Utah? Please don't say that.
We're not saying it today. Not today.
Don't, because then BYU Utah leaves, then I'm gonna be sobbing like a baby.
Well, I would love for BYU and Utah to be in a P2 conference together. That would be great.
There you go. BYU, Utah, and P2 conference. That's better.
I love it. I don't care what the conference name is. I just think that's a rivalry that needs to continue to be rebuilt. All right, Ute, David Floyd checking in. Good to see you, David. ACC and Big 12 should push for 4, just like the Big 10 and SEC, then expand the playoff to 18. Now, all of a sudden, they're expanding the playoff with 2 play-in games for 15, 16, 17, 18. I'm not against that. Can go to G5 programs. So you basically have this sub-tier like you do with the basketball tournament, play-in games. What do you think about that idea?
Look, I'm for it. I'm for expanding the field as big as we wanted because I want to see my team in the field, you know, and like, yeah, the more spots, the more likelihood. So whatever, like it does lose its weight though after a certain period. Maybe that's 16 kind of feels like a cap. I'm sure it's going to get pushed to 24 conversation if we go to 16. It's always going to be, there's going to be pressure on more games. But like, hey, I think we need to be real about this. Like, and Devil Frog was just like throwing a little shade and stuff because I'm not advocating a lot for Big 12, but like, got to be honest about this. Like, Big 12 shouldn't be getting as many automatic qualifiers as the Big 10. How are you going to make that argument? What justification? There's nothing that backs that up or supports that. So I think we just need to be honest about that, but like trying to get in a good position with like a 2, maybe a 3 instead of a 4 automatic is something that we should be pushing for.
Jackson, you want anything to do that?
I want to see the ACC Big 12 get more of a fair system. Like it doesn't need to be Big 10 and SEC running everything. I think that's nuts. But
we want the A4 to do that, right? That's what we hope the A4 will do. But I don't know. I'm not holding my breath. I've learned that. David Floyd also says, thank goodness for Texas Tech Cody Campbell. Do you guys know who that is?
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's a Texas billionaire.
Oh, is he the guy that's in that commission with Saban?
Yep.
The commission that got slapped down. Somebody talked in Saban's ear and said, we don't want this. Next thing you know, the next day, we don't need a commission.
So check it out. Cody Campbell actually is becoming one of the more influential people in all of college football. Okay. Not just Big 12. Right now, it's your mark in the Big 12 and Cody Campbell. I am serious about this as the number 2 most influential person in the whole Big 12 conference.
Wow.
He is the billionaire. He's supporting all the NIL collective for Texas Tech, and he's advocating. He's got a relationship with Trump. He's the one pushing all this stuff and advocating for Big 12 and like the equality in college football, NIL restrictions. He's a powerful dude. He's a rich dude. So like, hey, we need to, like, as Big 12 fans, we need to be supporting him.
I'm honest. Yeah. I totally support him. Whatever I can do to help.
Yeah.
I'd love to learn more about Cody Campbell for sure.
Yeah, it's going to take some time for, I think, people to get caught up on. Everybody needs to understand, though, he's a political friend with Trump. So that's how he's come out of nowhere. It's quite simple. FF18 Boss, that's Fergie. How we doing, Fergie? Good to see you. Appreciate you being here. $5 super chat. Also a valuable member of the Mafia family. Greatest leagues in the world are completely level playing fields. This is 100%. And the competition success is amazing, except Major League Baseball and college football that are screwing it up. I would say the NBA is also on there. Those 3 leagues, I think, all are broken. But what do you guys think about that?
He's not wrong. He's not wrong. I mean, the MLB, we see them getting screwed over by ESPN. It's like you never hear those guys talking about anybody besides the Yankees, Red Sox, or Dodgers. I'm like,
because that's where the money is. There's no cap. Everything is just buy. You got you got baseball teams that are now over $500 million.
Right.
Just the team.
That's so wrong. It's like I want to know more about the Reds. I want to know more about Diamondbacks, Rangers. Like, matter of fact, I want to hear more about the Pacers in the NBA. I want to.
Oh,
like I want to hear
there.
The Timberwolves. Like, I don't care about. Like, I'm sick of being bombarded with Lakers, Celtics this, Lakers, Celtics that, New York Nets. Is Spike Lee gonna be the new owner over James Dolan? No, then I don't want to hear.
I have not heard that.
Holy smokes!
Wow,
I would love for Spike Lee to be the new owner.
Spike, how about just take the Knicks and move them to Seattle? I'd be okay with that.
Either that, or bring back the Seattle Supersonics.
Yeah,
take the Seattle thing from Oklahoma City.
Yeah, there you get it back.
College football is becoming like Major League Baseball, though, on the limited salary cap. It's becoming an issue. And I get it. Like, a lot of people don't like the Deloitte clearinghouse. There's going to be lawsuits around that, too.
Yep.
But that's to protect a little bit, put some boundaries without just unlimited salary caps like the MLB has. Because the sport gets really sick. And, you get funded by billionaires. You're like, BYU's got billionaires. Cody Campbell's a billionaire. It's just you're going to pull away with just the billionaire money. Funding teams. That's exactly what's happening now. That's exactly what will happen if the clearinghouse doesn't do anything about it. And and Jackson, check this out. If the Deloitte clearinghouse doesn't work, the SEC is actually in trouble. because like you're looking at actually like the dollar collectives that are in the Big Ten versus the SEC. There's more money in the collective spending wealth in the Big Ten universities that they're going to throw at football than the SEC. That is going to be competitive disadvantage for the SEC in the future if you don't get the clearinghouse in play. That's why the SEC is so adamant about clearinghouse. They're the ones supporting it. They need it and stuff to remain elite. And so honestly, and like what for like the Utes, like my Utah Utes and stuff, we don't have a billionaire backing a collective and stuff. We need the clearinghouse to keep things equal, or else, schools like Texas Tech and BYU, that's huge funding, are going to be the tops in conference all the time.
Oh yeah, like a lot of teams are basically going to need a rich daddy to finance and like make sure they're okay. Be like, hey, billionaire in Alabama, give money to Alabama, Auburn. Hey, billionaire over in Montana or New Mexico, so on and so forth. Like you definitely need someone. Could not agree more.
I support merit, whether that's doing this clearinghouse, which Ute knows. I look at the clearinghouse and I think it's not going to ever be what they want it to be. Sure. Primarily because there's no CBA. There's nothing collectively protecting the players. And until that happens, the minute they try to stop even a $1 NIL deal, that thing is pay for play, lawsuits coming, and it's going to lock that thing up. So the players need to be in a union or, the collective bargaining ability, make them employees. I don't care what you have to do, but until you do that, you cannot do anything with salary cap. You can't do anything with restrictions on NIL from third parties because there's no collective structure to work around.
Great point.
Yeah.
That's a great point.
We need both. We need both things. I have no problem with the salary cap / NIL cap third party as long as everybody's playing by the same rules. That's all I care about. If they're not playing by the same rules, then I say screw it. Exploit the rules as much as you can.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, Conundrum says Utah would leave in a heartbeat. Anybody in the Big 12 would leave in a heartbeat.
Yeah, for the Power 2. Utah's not leaving down our conference, though. The Big 12 is the best place to be right now outside of the Power 2.
If Utah leaves, take BYU with you.
Yeah, I mean, if Utah and BYU both got into like the Big 10 of the SEC, like as a package deal, I think that would be no brainer, obviously.
All right,
yeah, no doubt about it. Let's see here. John Dry, good to see you, John. It's been a minute since I've seen you. Thank you. Utah to the pack. They suck in all sports so far in the Big 12. A lot of people writing checks.
Dude, there's a lot of checks out there and a lot of spaces right now. There's a lot of heat that's been had over the last year. And just note that Ute fans remember every little dime here and we'll collect receipts. If it's a big year, it's going to be a very difficult time for Big 12 circles.
There we go. Jackson, talking about controlling NIL, what do you think about the luxury tax like they have in Major League Baseball or in the NBA? I'll say my opinion is no luxury tax. Needs to be a hard cap, just like it is in the NFL.
Yeah,
that's my opinion.
I like that hard cap. That sounds pretty good.
Yeah, I think it would be tough to manage a luxury tax because if they do that, the people are still going to spend money.
Oh man, it's like Ohio State really needs to get their state representatives in control. Really, it's like you got state representatives writing bills for like we don't want our teams on bidding and kickoff. Like that sounds like to me y'all don't have a whole lot going on in your time if you're doing that.
Sorry, I just got a note from Ute. His computer died, so we're gonna talk for just a little bit while he tries to come back.
All right.
Jackson. Let's just keep going though. We got thousands of comments. Literally, we're over 1,000 comments tonight. I appreciate everybody being here tonight on a Friday evening, spending some time with me. Also with Jackson from Voice of College Football, Jackson Johnson, and then the Wild Ute, who's having some technical difficulties all the time. Let's get to some more. Everything Texas State. By the way, I love that Bobcat logo. Do you like the Texas State logo?
Love it.
Yeah, I really like it. I've quickly become a Texas State fan, actually.
I love what Coach Keene is bringing to that program. Like somebody is going to snatch him one of these
Oh,
days.
for sure. Yeah, he's on the up. There's no
Oh,
doubt about it. He's saying rip the pirate, and obviously the pirate is.
Mike Leach.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that, Mike Leach. Let's see here. Conundrum. Another comment says SEC and Big Ten get ACC's AQ when they die.
Yeah.
So let's just assume the ACC does splinter apart. How many teams do they need to keep of the original ACC brand to keep it viable as a power conference, not an autonomous conference, but a power football conference?
Oh, they have to get Memphis. They have to get a few other schools from the AAC, and I think they'll have to snatch Liberty and Appalachian State and Coastal Carolina.
Wow, those are some ads. How about what's the maximum number of teams they can lose and still say a power football conference?
I would say 4, 5, 6. But if you lose Notre Dame, you're really screwed.
Yeah, well, they don't really have Notre Dame now.
Well, that in the other sports, like if Notre
Right,
Dame, like
right.
we're out, like because that was like a nail in the coffin for the Big East in September 2012. Because like when Notre Dame left the Big East, they had to just say, okay, so the AC's wanting to give us this 5-game deal. We have to cut out Michigan. We have to cut out Michigan State. We have to cut out Purdue. Not because we want to, but because we have to. Because like a lot of people kind of give Notre Dame a bad rap for cutting out those games. They didn't want to cut out those games, but they reluctantly did it because of that ACC deal.
I think the Notre Dame is doing what Notre Dame. It's kind of like the frog and the scorpion, right? Carry me across the water, the scorpion says, and the frog, no, you'll kill me. No, you kill me. They get to the other side, and what happens? He stings him and he kills him. And it's because that's what they're made to do. Notre Dame has no reason, no incentive to join a conference. They're making loads of money. They have almost no oversight. They don't have to contribute to a conference from a daily operation standpoint. It's just I would never join a conference.
Well, if NBC decides, you know what, we're tired of Notre Dame, I wonder if ESPN or Fox or CBS will want to make a deal with them.
Oh, I no doubt about it. Or Netflix.
Yeah.
Or Amazon Prime. Absolutely, any of those could do. In fact, I could see Notre Dame and Netflix today.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that already hasn't happened.
Well, it's better than Big Mouth, so there's that. And Notre Dame on Amazon Prime. I mean, that brings Al Michaels back into calling college football games. He'll be like, okay, this is better than Pages Jets.
I think Al Michaels is getting tired myself.
No.
Secret agent, Texas Tech fan in the house saying, how long will this college football agreement be for? What happens to the auto bids when the ACC crumbles? Okay, so let's walk through it, secret agent, if you didn't get it earlier. Right now, it's a 12-team playoff for 2025-2026. Unless they have a unanimous vote, it's still going to stay with only 12 teams this year, and there's only 5 auto bids. That's not going to change. What they're really talking about is 2026. And at that point, the two conferences that have all the voting control are the SEC and the Big Ten. Because of that, that deal runs for 6 years, runs from 2026 through 2031. So, and they can go back and they can change things if they want to, but the rules change on how the voting interest goes. And right now, the maximum voting interest is with the Big Ten and the SEC. That's why everybody's afraid they're going to break apart, right? So to answer your question specifically, the next contract has already been signed and negotiated, goes from 2026 to 2031. And as of today, that was still only a 12-team playoff. Most people believe it'll be changed to a 16-team playoff. Then they have to decide how they're going to structure it. And people are worried that they could kill the golden goose. If they did a breakaway and people quit watching football because their conferences weren't involved, that would be Armageddon, right?
Oof, Armageddon.
I can't think of a way that would work, in my opinion. Let's see here. Tony Lawson checking in saying Wisconsin blows.
Oh, I bet
All
he's in
right.
Minnesota or
We do
Iowa.
not want we do want Wisconsin, Minnesota blood tonight. Let's not do that.
Oh.
Conundrum says Phillips equals clown. What's your perception of Phillips, the ACC commissioner?
He's going to have to make sure he can keep Florida State, Clemson, North Carolina really happy.
Is it even possible for the ACC to survive with
Oh,
with 15 teams?
the
The current
ACC.
15, the current 17 teams, if they lose 2 or 3, can they continue to play big boy football?
Oh, they'll survive, but they're not
They'll
going to
lose a lot
be.
of money.
Oh yeah, because I mean they're not going to be getting teams to the semifinals or the national title, but they'll stay alive somehow.
Okay.
And it's just going to be like how the Big East was in the 2000s when the ACC snatched Miami, Virginia Tech, and Boston College.
Right.
And they were able to stay on because they got Louisville, Cincinnati, and they were able to get Marquette in basketball to join. I mean, that was huge right there. Question is, can the ACC do something similar? And the funny thing is, they thought it was never going to happen to them. It's like, nah, ESPN loves us. They're kissing all over us. They're getting us gifts without expecting anything. It's like, yeah, no.
All right, let's get to some more comments here. MBM corrects me and says Sawyer is the Baylor quarterback. I couldn't remember where he was at, but yeah, MBM has it right. Valuable member of the Mafia family. Sawyer is the Baylor quarterback. Sorry about that. Let's see here. The Sear Killer again. Texas State gets the pack into the Central Time Zone. True. So they can actually have 11 a.m. Central games, correct? Pack needs that. I could not agree with you more. You're exactly right. They do.
Yeah, I mean, ESPN's got to have something besides Arkansas, Mississippi State, and pickleball.
Pickleball. Everybody's new favorite sport. Let me tell you here, his computer's giving him some trouble.
Oh, man.
It happens. I'm just telling him not to worry about it if he can't get back. All right. Let's get to the next comment. Texas State. We're Texas State fans around here. This serial killer, just so you know. Shonsky, BYU football checking in. Another member of the Mafia family saying he has a direct line to Trump, talking about that booster from Texas Tech.
Cody Campbell.
That's crazy. He came out of nowhere. I'd never heard of him.
Oof.
That doesn't mean anything, I guess, but I'd never heard of him.
Oh man, it would be so funny if we saw like NIL discussion on like the Piers Morgan show, like where it's like everybody on different sides talking about college football. I'd be like, we won.
Yeah, that's hard to do. It's hard to do. I'm not against doing big shows like that with lots of people, but it really it takes a master orchestrator to make it so everybody's not talking over each other.
There you go.
I'm going to do it in the future, but I haven't had the time recently. Let's see. John Dry again says the SEC deserves Texas Tech always preseason championship while they deserve each other. Go Tech. Sorry, Utah. You're Texas Tech Junior. Oh, Utes not here to defend himself, Dry. I'm sorry.
Vanderbilt.
Oh, brother. Okay. Texas Tech has all the opportunity to be successful. All of it. Stephen Vitt says, I wouldn't count out Iowa State. Nobody's counting out anybody, Stephen. Haven't done our picks for the season. Iowa State is definitely going to be in there. They're in the top 5 in my Big 12.
There you go.
Let's see. Let's see. Fergie's first post. Fergie is back. Buffs are recruiting hard. Travis Hunter is a unicorn. Shador is starting at the bottom and hoping to be at the top. Much love. Let's talk Shador for 30 seconds. Does he make their 53-man team?
Oh yeah.
They got 4 quarterbacks on the roster.
Oh, at some point they're gonna cut somebody. I feel like Kenny Pickett is that odd man out.
Yes, I think they're going to let him. Well, they're going to let his contract end, I think, is what it is.
I mean, it's like Dylan Gabriel and Shador Sanders. Like, they are that desperate to get rid of Deshaun Watson. Like, when the owner is saying, we made a mistake, something's really bad.
Yeah, I don't understand. Fergie, thanks for being here, but we appreciate you being back, and obviously your support and being a member of the Mafia family. I appreciate it. Let's see here. I think at the end of the day, Shador probably makes the 53 because it would look really bad if they didn't. But it's going to be weeks and weeks before he plays, unless Cleveland just bottoms out and has no offense for the first week or two. Then Shador will be starting. That's my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see here. Go Black 45, one of the best names in social media. I love that name. BYU versus ASU in the title game. ASU repeats. There you go. Predictions out. I think that's a pretty fair pick. The outcome, I don't agree with you, but that's a pretty fair pick. EH, welcome to the channel, EH. I'm not sure if I've seen you before, but welcome and thank you for being here. Remember, Ute, and that's obviously a reply to something else, and I don't have what the original comment is. So I apologize that, EH, but at least I got your remember Ute out there. Let's see here. Stephen Vitt, what do you think about this one, Jackson? Points-based system. I've already made a graphic of such an idea. So he's talking BCS essentially again.
Well, I have to take a look at it.
Yeah, I think Steven's either he's given it to us to put out. Steven, would you mind DMing that to me or Jackson? I know I think I've seen this presentation from
he's
before.
Is he on Twitter and Instagram?
I'm not sure. I can't remember. So, Steven, tell us in the comment section right now if you're not on Twitter. If you're on Twitter, send Jackson and I, and even Ute, your presentation. I'd love to look at it. That's all I can say. I love ideas like that. Let's see here. We're going to get to a few more comments. Holy cow, 200 comments just sitting in the lobby. I apologize, everybody. There are a lot of people doing comments tonight, and there's only one of me. Let's see here. Trying to get to the very bottom. Let's see if I can get some common ones. Let's see here. Mr. Monkey says, Texas State sounds like a fake school. I actually thought it was a fake school, like from one of the movies, one of the football movies that Hollywood puts in a movie to go against Western U.
That's funny. Oh man, Dale Gygatz has a funny one about NIL. Like, oh man.
I've never heard of Texas State before last year, but since I've heard of them, I am a major fan. I think they're on the ascendancy, and I think they should hold out. They should hold a knife to the Pac-12's throat to get their full share.
There you go. Get that little Derringer like Paladin on Have Gun Will Travel.
Man, I'd be all for it. Devil Frog says UNT, University of North Texas, has way more than 2 bowl wins. See, I never heard of North Texas. I heard of North Texas 2 years ago, but neither of these schools did I know much about. I'm not judging either one of them, by the way. I don't think Jackson is. I don't think Ute is. It's not about knocking these schools that are in Texas. It's about how do we get to know them and how can they help conferences get better.
Yeah.
Let's see here. There's so many comments, guys. I just apologize. I'm just sort of picking and choosing here. Charisse Armistead. Good to see you, Charisse. Welcome to the channel. Make sure you follow us on Twitter. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. Give us a like and leave us a comment or question. Go Buckeyes, baby. National champs. Tell you what, if I was a Buckeyes fan, I'd be gloating too.
There you go.
Let's see here. Let's see. Here's one for you, Jackson. Everything Texas State. UNT, University of North Texas, has peaked. Texas State is on the upward trajectory. Now, you're much younger than I am. What do you know about North Texas and Texas State?
Well, Texas State's doing very well against Power Four teams, and it would not surprise me if they win the Sun Belt this season. Honestly, and somebody's gonna snatch him? I mean, North Texas just seems kind of like an afterthought, and they're in a better conference than Texas State is.
How did that happen? Because I agree with you. That's the PR has completely changed.
Well, the AAC, they wanted somebody to replace Cincinnati, Central Florida, Houston. Because
Right.
it was like, oh, okay, we got to get North Texas. We got to get this school, that school. We got to get UAB. So it was like, boom.
Well, I think in 5 years, one of those teams will be in a power conference. Do you think that?
Oh, absolutely. Memphis is going to be in a power conference for sure. I mean, it's like they're a far cry from where they were in the late 2000s, early 2010s, where they were pitiful in football, but been amazing in college football since 2014.
Right. You actually got ahead of me there a little bit. I wasn't talking about Memphis or Memphis or who's the other team, right? Gosh, dang it, I'm spacing it.
Tulane.
Yeah, the Tulane and Memphis. I think they will end up in the ACC. Let me get that right. When they backfill, when they lose, however many teams they have. The question is, does the ACC one continue to be a power football conference? I think that might be questionable. And two, the Texas State or UNT, is that going to be enough to sort of springboard them into whatever the next iteration of college football is?
That's a good question. But, Tulane and the ACC, maybe the ACC could make a deal with the SEC to have like LSU Tulane be the SEC ACC non-con rivalry on rivalry week.
There you go.
It's like,
and whatever it takes to get people watching TV, that's all I care about.
There you go.
You know what? I think we're going to wrap it up there, Jackson. So why don't you take a second and tell everybody where to find your stuff on Voice of College Football and on your Twitter handle and whatever, and let them know, just where to seek you out.
Well, they can find me on Alabama at the Voice College Football Monday nights and Thursday nights, on Alabama at the Voice College Football on Crimson Tide Live and the Crimson Tide Live call-in show, where Jeffrey and I take your calls Thursday night, all right there on Alabama at the Voice College Football. And of course, there's my show, The Jacksonian, on YouTube at Jackson Johnson 979, including my 70th episode with Nathan Balmer Brown himself, the man on my left, talking about BYU football, our dream conference realignment scenarios, the future of college football, and much, much more. And of course, if you want more updates on what I've got going on the Jacksonian or on Alabama with the Voice College Football, or on my once-a-week calls on the Paul Feinbaum Show, where the weekends are full of surprises, check me out on Jackson VOCFB on @/Twitter, on Jackson Johnson 543908 on Instagram and Threads, and Jackson Johnson 97 Blue Sky Social on Blue Sky.
I don't know how you do all that. That is amazing.
Well, as my friend Mike Debate from Sports Illustrated for the Patriots, well, he was at Locked On Patriots, but he said that the skies are blue at Blue Sky, but some say it's full of overcast, some say it's blue, some say it's all sad. But if you don't like @ or Instagram, check me out on Blue Sky. But of course, check out Nathan and CFB Mafia, not only on @/Twitter, not only on YouTube, but also on Blue Sky, where they've got magic all over the place. Tune in. You won't want to miss it.
I'm going to just give you a clap. That was fantastic, Jackson. Thank you so much for being here, helping guest star while Moen is gone. We will be doing this more in the future. Let me get to a few more comments, and then we're going to get out of here. Troll Grinding, Cheat Clapper. He knows whenever I see him, I usually pull one of his comments. That's one of the best social media names I've ever come across. It's the one and only guys who might hate aspects of conference realignment. They're all thankful they're not one of the 2 Cal fans out there. It's College Football Mafia. Thank you, Troll Grinding, Cheat Clapper. We appreciate you. And yeah, you know what? We have opinions, and most of the time we're wrong, but a lot of the time we're right. Let's see here. The Serial Killer says, great show, guys. It's good to see you. Thanks for joining. Make sure you subscribe. Tempest, ACC won't be a big conference when they lose. Florida State, Miami, Clemson, and UNC. I would put Louisville on that list. I agree. They're not a power football conference if they lose their top brands. That's my opinion. That's a whole different show. Antoine Johnson checking in. Good to see you, Antoine. It's been a little bit. Appreciate you. Shadur will be starting QB before the season ends. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if that's true or not. Maybe. I guess it's possible. Let's see here. NBM. OKC had 28 fouls to Denver's 16 last night. Let's see. TO for the game is 7. I don't know any of those numbers, NBM, but it sounds to me like maybe you're an OKC fan.
Oh man, my buddy Austin's a big Nuggets fan, but he also pulls for the Thunder. He likes the Nuggets more than
that's kind of weird mix.
Well, he's from Kentucky. He's a Louisville man, but he's a great dude to trust. I mean, you should have heard the phone calls I had with him. Like he was worried about like the Jeff Brom era. And he said, what's going to happen with us? Oh my God. It's like Scott Satterfield left us and does. I'm like, good buddy. You're going to be very happy with the Jeff Brom era. You're going to be very happy.
You. I love the positivity.
There you go. I mean, it's Cincinnati thought they won, but no, it's Satterfield's loss, not Louisville's when they lost Satterfield.
Yeah, let's not go down that. So let's not talk about that tonight. That's a whole different show, Jackson.
Oh, man.
Daniel Gygax said if the ACC and Big 12 get 3 automatic qualifiers, will the CFP money increase for the conference? I'm going to say no. That's a great open question. I think if you get more teams in, it changes the money. But I'm not sure, Daniel, that's an open question. Anybody who knows, look that up and send me a DM on X about it, and I'll try to chase that down because that's an interesting question. I don't know the answer to. And then last but not least, Fergie's comment about legislation. This is what we'll end on. Whatever legislation they ever come up with, need to ban the tortillas at Texas Tech. That is dumb and dangerous. We will go back to yellow snowballs in Boulder. All right.
Oh,
Remember
man.
the old Big 8, early Big 12 days. All right. So for Wild Ute, who had to bump out, this is Jackson Johnson, guest starring with us tonight. And I'm your host, Nathan Bomber Brown. Thank you very much for being here with us tonight and working through some of the difficulties we had in the show. We appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe, follow us on X, subscribe on Twitter, on YouTube. Give us a comment or question. We do answer those. So get involved. That's all I ask. We have the smartest viewers in all of YouTube, in my opinion. And it's because we spend the time to get them the information. If we don't know it, we'll usually say something like, I don't know. But we'll try to get the information for you if you ask us what it is.
There you go. Tell your friends, your family, and the cashiers at Publish about the magic that Nathan Bomber Brown, Wild Ute, Moen, and everybody here at CFB Mafia are creating all right here on the CFB Mafia Network. Let's get that channel to 10,000 subs, folks.
Thank you so much, Jackson. Everybody else, have a great night. Have a great weekend. Be safe. Catch Moen at 8 p.m. Eastern on Sunday night and Moen After Dark. So for everybody else, I'm going to say peace out. Stay out of trouble. Bye.